Yo yo yo, this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, your artist Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX. Well guys, surprise! We have a full screen presentation today. I'm trying something new. Don't expect this to happen like every single time I do this video. But this is a second year anniversary special for you guys. And I'm actually recording this at 7:30 a.m. I just finished my slides. And yeah, this is all for you who need a last minute, you know, something to think about. Whether you want to scout for either Anniversary Lily or Anniversary N or Anniversary Steven, or do you want to go for the upcoming Pokefair 5-star select Pokefair Scout, or you want to go for the seasonals. This month has a lot of crazy stuff, and the thing is, the update or the datamine is not even covering the second half of the anniversary or of the month of September. So before I begin, I want to give a huge shout out to Absol-utely for all the data of the sync pair. So thank you Absol-utely if you want to check him out. Link is in the description. I would also like to give a huge shout out to all my members up there. Thank you for supporting my channel all these months. Thank you Shadowfill, So Nicholas, Moreless Gaming, Aryan Singh, Blaze, John9019, Pop Leo Gaming, Roy Ackerman, Luca Midi, Arimakose, Popwatt, and Vishal. Thank you guys for all the support, and thank you to all my super chatters. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the extra generosity. So this is my analysis or sync pair analysis video on who you should scout for. Well, this is not exactly, for those who are new, this is not exactly telling you who to scout for, but rather an in-depth look at their stats, their passives, their sync grid, compare with other sync pairs. And by the way, welcome every new subscriber out there. We are now at 5,200 something subs. You guys have been extremely crazy in my gem count video, and we actually got 5,000 plus views in the first 24 hours. You guys are crazy. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for that. I hope that this video also picks up the same way. Anyway guys, I am going to begin starting with their schedules. So over here, New Year Lily is actually coming later if you're watching this the same day as when I am uploading this. This New Year Lily is coming on August 28th, ends on September 29. Now, if you're from the West, it's probably August 27 there. But for us in the East, it's August 28th until September 29, last day. For Anniversary N, coming 2 days after I keep saying New Year Lily. Anniversary Lily, coming on August 30. Anniversary Steven is coming on September 1, and Anniversary Steven actually comes with the very first shiny scoutable Pokemon. First shiny, yay! And then we have the 5-star select Pokefair Scout, where you can use 3,000, I think it's 3,000 paid gems. We'll have to see once the day comes out if how many gems you would need, but you would need paid gems to do one random multi-pull with all the Pokefairs that are featured in that banner. And then after doing that multi-pull, you can select one Pokefair unit of your choice, whether it's Signusuit Red, Signusuit Leaf, Raihan, Champion Iris, Alder, and Signusuit Cynthia. Either of the 6, you have a choice to scout for either of the 6. And then on September 3 to September 9, we have the rerun of 6 seasonal scouts combined into one banner. And there is another one, September 10 to September 16, also rerunning second part, another 6. Now, the only non-returning seasonals, I think, are the spring banners. That's Spring May and Springberg, as well as Summer. Okay, who is that? Summer Marnie and Summer Gloria. Those are the only sync pairs or seasonals who are not returning. Later on, I'll be discussing them each. So, stay tuned. Stay tuned until the end. In the meantime, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. We are going to delve into them very shortly. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section as well. And make sure you share this around. Share the love. Share the info to other people who are fans of Pokemon Masters. With that said, subscribe. And this is Lunala. What happened to my screen? What happened to my screen? Anyway, this is... Thank you. That is the sync move animation of Anniversary Lily and Lunala. And if you actually see this screen over here previously, if you see this screen, that means congratulations, you actually got Anniversary Lily on your multi-pool or on your single pool. Congratulate yourselves, guys. So she has 2 attack moves. One is Moongeist Beam, the other one is Moonblast. Moongeist Beam is a ghost type attack that has 4 move gauge, and like Solgaleo's Sunsteel Strike, it ignores passive skills that would reduce damage. It will, I think it ignores physical shield or special shield if you're using her in Champion Stadium, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it ignores vigilance as far as I know. Never mind. Yeah, it ignores vigilance. It ignores vigilance. I'm not sure if it ignores critical shield or special shield. It also ignores endure. So if the opponent has an endure effect, it just bypasses it. And then there's Moonblast, which has a 30% chance of lowering the opponent's special attack. It also has Potion, which you know what Potion does. And it also has 1 MP Shining Moonlight, where your special attack stat will be immediately raised +6, and your critical hit rate will be increased +3. So maximum special attack immediately and maximum critical hit rate immediately upon using Shining Moonlight. Now her sync move is called Shining Hope Moongeist Beam. Does not have any extras built into it, but she already has like an attack move multiplier in the form of a master passive skill called Alola Flag Bearer. Now, this one already powers up everyone in your team's every single attack move. I'm talking about I'm talking about normal attacks, not sync moves. So it powers up every single sync pair's attack moves by 10%. And you you receive 20% less damage from the opponent's attacks. Not sync moves again, only attacks. It applies to every single sync pair in your field. And just in case Anniversary Lily faints, Alola Flag Bearer is still in play. That's something I learned earlier by research. So here we go again. If Anniversary Lily faints, Alola Flag Bearer is still in play. Now, the more Alolan sync pairs you have, your stats or your attacks and defenses get raised up a little bit more. Maximum attack increase is 30% and maximum defense increase is 26%. Now, if you remember, this is very similar to Leon's Galar Flag Bearer. It's actually the same except for Alolan sync pairs. And then if you actually look at Hoenn Pride and Hoenn Spirit of Maxie and Archie, the increases are actually a little bit more actually. But for Maxie, it only applies to physical attacks of yourself and your opponent. And for Archie, it applies only for special attacks for you and for the opponent. Flag Bearer is for both physical and special attacks. So I guess, personally for me, it's a little bit better than Blast Spirit or Blah Pride. So, let's move on to the next one. Healthy Benefits 5 is basically Hop. So this reduces the damage. If your HP is full, you take in half damage when the opponent attacks you. Whether a normal attack or a sync move, you receive half damage when your HP is full. Super Preparation 4 has a 50% chance of making your next attack or sync move a super effective move next. Super effective plus next. So if the opponent is weak to either Ghost type or Fairy type, depending on what move you use, you will deal more damage to the opponent. And then Rejuvenate 6, after you use a sync move or your move gauge fills up immediately. Now, I was asking you in my stream what lucky skill you want to give her, and you guys said Critical Strike 2. But you know, Lily can actually work as a pseudo tanker. Healthy Benefits 5 reduces damage. She also gets healthy healing on her sync grid. So this is what 6-star EX anniversary Lily looks like. So at 3 out of 5, you actually get healthy healing. So it goes very well with Healthy Benefits 5. So if you're full health, you receive half damage, and you can quickly recover that damage using healthy healing by attacking the opponent. You regen some health, and then you're back to full health, and then you receive half damage again, and then healthy benefits activate, and you know, the cycle goes on and on. Basically, I think she works as a nice tanker. There are a couple of she's a striker, but there are a couple of strikers that actually have potion. Scotty, your main character, or Betty and Pikachu have potion. Hilda, a striker, has potion. Lance has potion. New Year Lance also has potion. Spring May also has potion. They're all strikers. To me, the closest one to be a slight support, pseudo support from all those sync pairs is actually just Spring May with X defense all and I think she can also increase everyone's accuracy, or was it some other stat? Aside from her, it's New Year Lily that can probably work as a support / tanker. The rest of the strikers that have potion do not actually do well as a tanker. So, yeah, she kind of works both ways. She's very, I guess, if you're a new player in Pokemon Masters, she is pretty easy to use. At 1 out of 5, you get access to Dauntless. Special attack cannot be lowered immediately. So that's a nice thing to have. And then there's Shining Moonlight MP Refresh, which is basically worthless. Because there very few moves can remove critical hit rate increase. Probably Snatch, probably Haze. But how many opponents actually have Snatch and Haze? And yeah, if the opponent likes to lower your special attack, just get Dauntless available immediately when you scout for Lily. Special attack cannot be lowered. So there's no point in getting Shining Moonlight, except, you know, if you only have her at 1 out of 5 and don't have any other sync grid house to use them on, probably go ahead, use it on Shining Moonlight. At 2 out of 5, she gets access to a sync move multiplier in the form of Double Down. So if the opponent is weak to ghost type moves, your sync move is ghost type, get Double Down 2 and your sync move gets powered up. At 2 out of 5 also, she gets an attack move multiplier, healthy power up 1, slightly raises the attack damage of your normal moves, and those are Moongeist Beam and Moonblast. Potion Master Healer 1, if you want to give her, or if you want to make her a potion pitcher / potion slave, you can give this to her. Quick Tempo is basically reminds me of Kiawe, starts the battle with an increase or accelerated move gauge. And Soften Up 1 makes your sync moves hit critical hit rates a little bit more. Critical hits land more easily when the user attacks with a sync move. I think I heard somewhere that sync moves actually have a less chance of landing a critical hit than a normal attack. So, Soften Up 1 helps you land critical hits more or easier when you use sync moves. And then, at 3 out of 5, Brain Sync 3 powers up your sync move. This is not the same as another passive skill which requires you or increases your damage the higher your special attack is. No, this is only if you have special attack +1, at least special attack +1, your sync move already gets powered up. If you have special attack +2, Brain Sync will not do any additional damage. It's the same as +1 or +2 or +6. I think it's the same. But you know, the higher your special attack, normally or naturally, your sync move gets powered up because your sync move is a special attack. Danger Damage Guard is very interesting, guys. So Danger Damage Guard, if you receive an attack that cuts down your HP to half or less than half, you get or you receive a Damage Guard next effect. Now, I think this effect started with Emmet. Emmet's All Aboard, I think, started this Damage Guard thing. And basically, if the opponent attacks you with a normal attack, if you have the Damage Guard next effect, you receive 0 damage. If the opponent attacks you with a sync move, it gets cut down to half damage. So it's basically Healthy Benefits 5 for the sync move of the opponent, or a 0 damage received when it's a normal attack. So this thing can actually save you from death. You know, if you did not, for example, you did not give Lily Vigilance, you gave her Critical Strike 2, suddenly the opponent lands a critical hit on you, you were not expecting it, and it cuts down your HP to only 10% remaining. And the opponent somehow manages to attack you again. Danger Damage Guard actually saves you from death by giving you a chance to use a potion on her, because you will receive 0 damage on the opponent's next move because of the Damage Guard next effect. So that is something very interesting about her. That is only if you get her at 3 out of 5 though, and you need 3 copies. For Master Fairs, it's not that easy to get 3 copies of a sync pair because it's only 1%, but some of you have been extremely lucky with your pulls. So I just wish you the best of luck with your pulls, and maybe give her Danger Damage Guard. I'll probably give that to her. Healthy Healing, again, as I said, if you start the battle with full HP, which is probably almost every single time except Battle Villa, you will receive a gradual healing next. You will receive a regen effect. Or by the way, not just Battle Villa, but also probably Champion Stadium Master Mode if you have like health 50% or something like that. Then Moonblast Critical Strike 1, basically if you land a critical hit, Moonblast gets a little bit more powerful. And then Moongeist Beam, Power Flux 3, the fuller your move gauge, the more move gauge bars you have, the stronger Moongeist Beam will be. Potion MP Refresh 2, you know this, 30% chance of bringing back a potion. And then Propulsion 1, if you use any move, I think it includes trainer moves, so it includes Potion, it includes Shining Moonlight. There's a 20% chance of reducing your sync move countdown by 1. And Sync Cure basically reduces or removes all status conditions when you use a sync move. And with that said, she gets 2 sync nuke tiles. And we're done. We're done with Anniversary Lily. That's our first sync pair, and she's coming tomorrow or later. Again, very easy to use sync pairs. And by the way, if you're looking at these stats, these are edited by me. If you have seen the process that goes with the editing, I hope you found a nice appreciation for those, and I hope you give this a thumbs up. These are level 135 stats. I did not give her level 140 stats because I think that it's kind of difficult to get your newer or your sync pairs to level 140. For those who are asking as well how to collect those new plus items, great plus items, they're not available yet. They are gonna drop once new... Here we go again. Once Anniversary Lily drops in the game. So that's August 28th. Guys, let's move on. This is Anniversary N and Reshiram. If you see the screen, congratulations, you got him. And again, comes out on August 30 and ends on the same day as Anniversary Lily. This is what the sync move looks like. And yeah, actually, this is the only tech sync pair that we got. This is also only the current tech master sync pair that we have. Apparently, the game decided to just give us strike master pairs, give the support master pairs to BP sync pairs, which is kind of honestly disappointing for me because I was really hoping for a master fair scout for a support sync pair. I want to see what can beat Signusuit Blue in terms of everything. So, with that said, this is what the screen looks like. Level 135 again. He gets Blue Roar, Noble Roar, Dire Hit Plus, and Truth Will Prevail. No need to discuss about Dire Hit Plus. Truth Will Prevail makes the move gauge accelerate and then raises the user by 3 stat ranks. So, raises N by 3 special attack. Raises N's accuracy by 1 stat rank as well. But he gets a passive skill called Extend Range. Extend Range when N uses a move or a trainer move or a skill or whatsoever, the target becomes everyone. So as you can see over here, the target becomes all allied sync pairs if used to target yourself. So that means if you use Truth Will Prevail, raises N's special attack by 3, raises all your allies' special attack by 3, raises all your allies by accuracy plus 1. If you use Dire Hit Plus, not only will N's critical hit rate go up plus 2, but everyone else in your team should have critical hit rate plus 2. So it's like Dire Hit All Plus. And basically, Extend Range is awesome. Now, this is how I analyze this. I might be wrong, but based on how this is worded, I think my interpretation is correct. And then, as I was saying earlier, it's not only Dire Hit Plus and Truth Will Prevail, but also Blue Roar and Noble Roar. Blue Roar has a 20% chance of leaving everyone burned and basically deals damage or fire damage to every single opponent without reducing... full damage to everyone. Full damage to everyone. And then Noble Roar lowers everyone's attack and special attack by 1 stat rank. And then there's another one, which is Mind Games 9. His passive skill, Mind Games 9, lowers the opponent's special defense by 1. So every time you use Blue Flare, not only will you have a 20% chance of burning everyone, you also have, or you will also lower everyone's special defense because of Mind Games 9. Now, Noble Roar is not exactly an attack move. It is a status move. And I don't think Noble Roar will lower everyone's special defense. It's just attack and special attack. So just keep that in mind. Noble Roar will lower everyone's attack and special attack by 1. Now, I think the best lucky skill to give him is Critical Strike 2, just because very strong. And his sync move is called Blue Flare to change the world. The more the opponent's stats have been lowered, the stronger his sync move becomes. So it's like an innate built-in sync move multiplier on its own, guys. But he also gets some interesting stuff. Unova Flag Bearer, just like Alola Flag Bearer earlier with Anniversary Lily, already powers up your moves by 10% at the start. Everyone will be affected by this, and reduces your attack taken by the opponent by 20%. I'm curious, if you have all Flag Bearers together, will it be like 30%, combined attack power up and combined damage reduction power up? I think it will work like that, and it's gonna be interesting to use all Flag Bearers together. And then, guys, as I was saying earlier with Noble Roar, he also gets at 3 out of 5 Noble Roar Mind Afflictor 4 and Noble Roar Might Afflictor 4. So has a 50% chance of lowering the attack of everyone and special attack of everyone by 1 stat rank when you use Noble Roar. Personally, I was hoping this to be double drop instead. This is like a toned down, leveled down double drop. If you remember, we have Getsis and Qrem has Noble Roar double drop. So instead of -1, it's -2. For this, if you get Might Afflictor, has a 50% chance only of lowering an additional attack stat. And you have to get Mind Afflictor 2 to be able to lower the opponent's special attack stat by an additional 1. But if you actually get Noble Roar Might Afflictor and Mind Afflictor, you have a chance to lower everyone's attack and special attack by 2 levels if both of them trigger. So that's a good thing. That's something we can look forward to in battle. 1 out of 5, he gets Natural Remedy. And Truth Will Prevail MP Refresh 2 has a 30% chance of restoring 1 MP, which, again, that move will raise your special attack by 3 and raise everyone's accuracy by 1. I guess if you want this, it's for the accuracy or the move gauge acceleration. But aside from that, no need to get this. Blue Flare Hostile Environment 1 raises the chance to burn the opponent, to burn everyone. And then Dire Hit MP Refresh 2, no need to emphasize this, and no need to get another one, or no need to get this at all. Pecking Order, the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger your sync move becomes. This is your second sync move multiplier. The third sync move multiplier is there at 3 out of 5, Devastation. The more the opponent's special attack is lowered, the stronger your sync move becomes. So normally, if you use N, both attack and special attack should go down in the same speed. So Pecking Order plus Devastation plus the built-in innate sync move multiplier, which is the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger the damage, plus Mind Games 9, which lowers the opponent's special defense. Imagine opponent's special defense -6. That's the lowest. Plus lowest attack stat of the opponent, lowest special attack. Just imagine the amount of damage N can bring. It's gonna be devastating. It's gonna be devastating. And then there's Healthy Super Hit, which applies at the very start of the battle. If you enter the battle with full HP, if you decide to save up Blue Flare, if you decide to save up Blue Flare, because it will only activate once for an opponent who is weak to fire. If you decide to save up Blue Flare, use Noble Roar, Noble Roar, Noble Roar, lower the opponent's attack, lower the opponent's special attack, special defense still up to 0 or something, you can get the super effective plus next applied to your sync move if the opponent is weak to fire, which will strengthen your damage even more. But that aside, it's gonna be, for me, it's gonna be tough to justify getting healthy super hit unless you wanna really finish off the battle with your first Blue Flare or something. So basically, it's the same as Lily earlier. We talk about Lily's, let me just go back to that screen. We talk about Lily's, come on, health, super preparation 4, which applies super effective plus next effect to the user. This one only applies at the very start of the battle if you enter the battle with full HP. Then he also gets Blue Flare Pep Rally 1, which is interesting. If you use Blue Flare, everyone's speed will rank up +1. Interesting. I don't know why this is a thing. I cannot imagine a fire type Blue Flare thing raises everyone's speed, but yeah, let's just go with it. Let's just go with it. He also gets Piercing Gaze, basically moves never miss. I think the accuracy of Blue Flare is 85. Was it 80 or 85? So if you get Piercing Gaze, your Blue Flare will never miss, which is a very good thing. I would get this. Super duper effective 1 if the opponent is weak to fire type moves. Get this, and basically your Blue Flare only will have increased damage. And with that said, he gets 2 Sync Nuke Tiles, and we're done with N and Reshiram. Let me move on, guys. It's 8 o'clock and I have to sleep very soon. It's Anniversary Steven and Rayquaza, or Mega or Shiny Rayquaza. This is what the sync move looks like. Which, finally, we get another Mega Evolution and we get a Shiny. But I've heard you guys. You guys hate this. You guys say the stats are horrible. And I'm here to talk about it right now. Dragon Ascent is a flying type move that normally lowers your defense and special defense -1. And Draco Meteor is a dragon type move that normally lowers your special attack -2. But he has a passive skill called Downside Up, which basically makes all the buffs become buffs. And I think everything that the opponent will lower you with will also increase you. So it's an interesting thing about him. This is what his 6-star EX form looks like, by the way. And I forgot to increase his stats with the 6-star EX form, but just go with it. If he Mega Evolves, his speed go up to 408. His attack stat is 248. His special attack stat is 248, even when Mega Evolved. The only stat that goes up is speed. And you guys have been hating on him for this. And before we get there, I will discuss that later in depth. Sky High raises your critical hit rate immediately to maximum. Applies the super effective plus next effect. Slightly wrong spelling, but I cannot edit that anymore. When used by Mega Rayquaza, also raises your speed by 2 stat ranks. X attack raises your attack by 2 stat ranks. And nothing to say here except your critical hit rate is already maxed. Dragon Ascent, the more you use it, the more powerful you are because of his passive skill, Good Form. Good Form is basically the higher your stats are, the stronger your attacks are. Normal attacks. And I think it's 5% increase. I heard you guys say that. I'm not into numbers. And I don't want to go to DPS in this video at all. So you will not hear me say anything about that except now. But if this actually works like stored power or power trip, this will be insanely good. The higher your stats are, the stronger the damage is. So if, again, this works like power trip of Marnie or stored power of Bianca / Will, this is actually good. But we can only speculate now until he's out. It's hard to say how this works. Hoenn Flag Bearer, like the other flag bearers earlier, raises everyone's attack by 10%, lowers damage received by 20%, and move gauge refresh for basically 50% chance of bringing back one move gauge, one bar of move gauge when you use an attack against the opponent. Now, for this sync pair, definitely Critical Strike 2 will be the best. If you're unlucky, you can get Power Flux 3 or Critical Strike 1. And then, for his sync grid. Now, the game has been kind to Steven. There are not a lot of sync pairs. There are very, very few sync pairs. Only one, actually, that I'm aware of that got a sync move multiplier at 1 out of 5. Or maybe 2. Maybe 2. I think there's 2. I forgot the other one. I think it was... I noted it down. But there are currently 2, I think, sync pairs. Maybe there's more that have a sync move multiplier at 1 out of 5. The other one is the normal Steven Haymaker. This one is Clear Sync Up 5. Basically powers up your sync move by 50%, around that amount, when there are no weather conditions. Now, how many battles have weather conditions? Not a lot, unless you set them yourself. So Clear Sync Up 5 will actually trigger for almost all battles, unless you decide to use Rain Dance or Hail or Sandstorm or Sunny Day. Otherwise, the weather will be normal. This is not like a psychic terrain. This is not a terrain effect. This is a weather condition. So most of the time, you should be able to land Clear Sync Up 5 as a multiplier immediately, because this will power up your sync move damage when there are no weather conditions. So that's a nice personally, it's a nice multiplier for me. This is like the opposite of Zinnia, which I really hate her weather dependency. Has to have weather conditions to get powered up. This one does not have to have weather conditions, which is good, because there are more battles without weather conditions than there are weather conditions. Sky High MP Refresh 2, you know that. X Attack MP Refresh 2, you also know that. Steven also gets 2 Sync Nuke tiles at 2 out of 5, and another 2 at 3 out of 5, making his sync move a little bit more powerful, and you can raise his sync move damage to plus 100. Now at 3 out of 5, he gets another sync move multiplier, this time Clear Sync Up 9, where you can really power up his sync move by around 90%, plus the Clear Sync Up 5 by a total of around 140 to 150%, or somewhere there, if you use a sync move, which is really good for me. It's really powerful, I think, even with the attack or horrible attack / special attack stat. Yes, Hoenn Flag Bearer does not apply to sync moves, but you're increasing your sync move damage by a lot of percent here with Clear Sync Up 5 and Clear Sync Up 9. I doubt you guys will not get Clear Sync Up 5 even at 3 out of 5. I'm pretty sure you guys should do that. And yeah, his kit revolves around nothing, no weather conditions. Clear as Day prevents flinching, confused, trap conditions when there are no weather conditions. Clear Power Up 1 basically goes alongside Hoenn Flag Bearer and Good Form, making your attacks stronger if there are no weather conditions. And then there's Draco Meteor, Critical Strike 2, powers up Draco Meteor a little bit more if your Draco Meteor is a critical hit. Dragon Ascent Fleet Feet 1 raises your speed stat when you use Dragon Ascent. And then Fierce Entry 1 raises your attack stat immediately at the start of the battle. Head Start 1 reduces your sync move countdown. Sync Freebie, when you use a sync move using Steven, your next move will be free. And Weather Wipe 9, interesting thing. If there are any weather conditions, just use a move using Steven. Goodbye, weather condition. Goodbye. You must not use Steven together with Archie and Maxie, I think, if you want Weather Wipe 9, because that will contradict everyone. You can use Steven without Weather Wipe 9, without Clear Power Up 1, without Clear Sync Up 5, and without Clear Sync Up 9 if you decide to use him together with Maxie and Archie. But just take note that these multipliers will not take effect when you do that. So, we're done. We're done with Steven, and we're done with the 3. We're done with the 3. But I think I know what you're gonna ask. And that is, I did not forget him. I did not forget this guy. Signasuit Leon. Is it now worth it to scout for Signasuit Leon? You guys waited. The anniversary sync pairs have been announced. Is it worth it to scout for Signasuit Leon? Well, he's the first sync pair to get a Dynamax move. If you use a Dynamax move, or if you use Eterna Beam, you get a Damage Guard next effect, which is very similar to Anniversary Lily, except you have to have full health, which basically cuts the sync move damage of the opponent down to half or 0 damage to you when it's a normal move. The thing about him, the crazy thing about him is Lucky 7-4, which lowers or has a 50% chance of lowering the attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, and accuracy stat of the opponent when your move is successful. And aside from that, your Dynamax Cannon deals more damage when the opponent has used a sync move. But is it worth it? Personally, guys, this is a Dragon type sync pair. We got another Dragon type, but not exactly a full Dragon type. We got Steven with Draco Meteor. Yes, his stats are lower. I know, but he has good form downside up, which I think getting a Master Sync pair is better than getting a Pokefair. Personal opinion, guys. Plus, there is a 12% chance of getting a 5-star sync pair if you go for the Master Fair Scout, and only a 10% chance of getting a 5-star sync pair if you go for Signasuit Leon. Another thing is that you actually get presents on the very first 5 multi-pulls. So if you're only planning on doing limited multi-pulls on the Signasuit Leon banner, you can probably invest on Anniversary Steven instead and get some move candy coins as well as power-ups for those presents instead of getting Signasuit Leon. But again, guys, it's completely up to you. I'm just here to give my advice. If you are a collector or if you really like Signasuit Leon, no one's stopping you. You can go ahead and scout for him. Again, if you there will be more Dynamax Sync pairs in the future, so missing one is not exactly a really big deal. Plus, Pokefair units coming back are more often than Master Fair Sync pairs are coming back. So Pokefair Sync pairs normally come back in like, normally 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So far, Leon, the normal Leon, the first Master Fair, has not returned yet. So until then, I believe that Pokefairs return more often than Master Fairs. Although, we haven't seen Marnie, we haven't seen Diantha back, we have seen Champion Iris back. She'll actually be back in the 5-star select Pokefair Scout. So that's that, guys. That's my judgment on Cygnasuit Leon, if you want to scout for him or not. So now we have come back to this, and I wanna discuss about the 3 Master Fair units first. And that is starting with Anniversary Lily. So these are what I compared her with. These are all sync pairs that have ghost type moves. So Anniversary Lily, compared it with Fantina, Giovanni, Morty, and Celine. As you can see over here, Anniversary Lily's stats are somewhere in the center, not the highest, not the lowest. By the way, I added a grayed out thing, which basically the stat that's supposed to be ignored because the sync pair does not have a move of that stat. So it only has either a special attack or a physical attack. So, yeah, that's what it somehow looks like. Morty has the highest HP, Fantina has the lowest. Meanwhile, Anniversary Lily's stats, again, are just center of everything. But, as I always say, stats are not everything. These are the multipliers that they have. And now I have included the sync move or the move level you need to have in order to get those multipliers. So attack move multiplier for Anniversary Lily, Alola Flag Bearer immediately built into her kit. Healthy power up, basically you have to have full health, your attacks get more powered up, 2 out of 5. Moonblast, Critical Strike 1, 3 out of 5. Moongeist Beam, Power Flux 3, 3 out of 5. Brain Sync 3 again, you only need to have your special attack raised and your sync move will do more damage. Double down 2 if the opponent is weak to ghost type sync moves or ghost type moves, your sync move will do more damage. There's Fantina. I rarely see people use Fantina or talk about Fantina a lot, but decided to use her because my baby account actually relies on Fantina a lot. Bulkbuster 4 is built into her kit. And Bulkbuster 4, the higher the opponent's HP is, the stronger your sync move damage or your attacks do. It's like HP advantage except for the opponent. The opponent has to have higher HP. Critical Strike 2 is locked at 3 out of 5 and Power Flux 5 is locked at 3 out of 5 as well. And she has no sync move multiplier. She, by the way, has no 6-star EX form yet. Giovanni is a free-to-play sync pair. Recently got a grid and is amazing. He gets Power Reserves 2 built in to his grid. So basically, if you are at low or critical health, your attacks get powered up. Brain Teaser is the lower the opponent's special attack is. Is it special attack or special defense? I think it's special defense. Special defense, guys. Special defense. The lower the opponent's special defense is, the stronger your attacks are. And Smarty Pants is basically a sync move counterpart of Brain Teaser. He also gets Critical Strike 3, which applies to both attacks and sync moves at 2 out of 5. And, you know, you get Giovanni 20 out of 20 for free. So, yeah, for those who are new to the game, for those who just joined in for the 2nd year anniversary, sorry to say, but Giovanni, you missed it. But he's probably gonna be back because the second half of September is gonna start the villain arc of the main story, and the big bad boss, big bad guy of the villain arc is Giovanni with a Mega Mewtwo Y. So I'm curious, maybe Giovanni will get a power up really soon in the form of Mega Mewtwo Y. Maybe it will raise its stats. Maybe it's a completely different sync pair which we have to scout. I don't know. We'll have to see. But keep in mind that it's confirmed that Giovanni will have Mega Mewtwo Y, and maybe he'll get a buff in his kit, guys. Morty has actually been my ghost-type striker of choice since a very long time. Gritty 5, if you're afflicted with a status condition, you do stronger damage to the opponent. Locked at 3 out of 5. Power Flux 3, the higher or the fuller your move gauge is, the stronger your attacks become. And then there's Blind Spot at 2 out of 5. The higher your evasiveness is, the stronger your sync move damage. And Blind Spot actually works very well with Morty. Plus, he has Phantom Force, keeps disappearing, evading the opponent's moves. And then, if the opponent actually kills you, you have Last Word, which deals like a final blow to the opponent. Sometimes it actually kills the opponent. And Morty has been like a staple in the game for ghost types for a very, very, very long time. Now, Anniversary Lily is or might actually be better than Morty. But Morty, if you have him, is worthy of 6-star EX. Very good sync pair. Very good sync pair. And then there's the last one, which is Celine. I think Celine has like Shackle, Spirit Shackle, which is the ghost type move. But Celine is actually a grass type sync pair. Hold Hostage 5 basically increases the damage received by the opponent if you use Spirit Shackle on the opponent first. We have another Hold Hostage 2, locked at 2 out of, or rather, locked at 3 out of 5. And then there's Power Reserves 3, again, if you're low on health, deals more damage, 2 out of 5. Ramming Speed, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger your attack moves are to the opponent. And then at 3 out of 5, she gets Catastrophe 2. If your sync move is a critical hit, it makes the opponent, it makes your sync move stronger. And there's Restraining Sync up 5, also locked at 3 out of 5. If the opponent is shackled or restrained, your sync move deals more damage. But the gimmick out of this is the restrain effect of the opponent is not permanent. So you have to keep an eye if the opponent is still restrained or not. And then you have to use Spirit Shackle again. But we're talking about ghost type moves here. And Celine is a grass type. But since she has a grass type or she has a ghost type move, I decided to include that for a full analysis. So that is the 5, or those are the 5 of them. I think Alola Flag Bearer will make a huge difference. Again, Anniversary Lily can work as a pseudo tanker / support, and I think she's really good at doing her job. But again, we have to test her first. And I love her kit because it just, you know, I think it's called I forgot the move. I forgot Danger Damage Guard or something. Yes, Danger Damage Guard. Again, if you go down to half health or lower, you basically get a Damage Guard next effect, which prevents you from dying in the next turn of the opponent. Next, we have Anniversary N. And yeah, N and attack stat is not considered, but special attack. And as you can see over here, the special attack is not exactly that impressive, but Anniversary N actually has the highest defense and special defense out of everyone here. I compared it with Leon, Serena, Silver, and Cygnus Red. Yes, there's Ethan, yes, there's Hilda, but I'm not gonna consider them because I think these are better comparisons. Serena is more widely used because of Sleep Chain, plus Serena can actually sync nuke the opponent. Leon and Cygnus Red are arguably like the best fire type strikers in the game right now. And Silver, because free to play, so why not? But again, stats are not everything. Here we go. Unova Flag Bearer, like usual, super duper effective 1, lock at 3 out of 5, and super effective move next, lock at 3 out of 5. But if I remember correctly, guys, super effective plus next is only applies to the start of the battle if you get like healthy super hit or something like that. So probably not so important here in this multiplier. Just ignore that and focus on the other ones. Anniversary N, sync move multiplier. Again, the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger your sync move damage. Devastation, the lower the opponent's special attack is, the stronger your sync move damage. Pecking order, the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger the sync move damage. Now, I probably can see N and Getsis working together, using Noble Roar side by side, or probably just Getsis using Noble Roar and we just using Blue Flare to lower the opponent's special defenses. I think that should work. I think that should work well, and those sync move multipliers will kick in like very quickly. We have Leon with Burn Synergy 3, a lock at 3 out of 5 if the opponent is burned, deals more damage. But again, he has Inferno, which immediately burns the opponent, and then he has Piercing Gaze. Even though Inferno's accuracy is like 50 only or something, he'll never miss because of his passive skill, Piercing Gaze. Galar Flag Bearer, like the other flag bearers, super duper or super effective plus next actually happens quite often because like Anniversary Lily, he gets super preparation 4. So every time he uses a move, there's a 50% chance of triggering that super effective plus next. Which is sad because N could have gotten a similar thing, but instead is locked, like you can only like trigger it once. And then Scorching Sync 5 if the opponent is burned, again at 3 out of 5, more sync move damage. And if you have the super effective plus next effect active, you deal more sync move damage to the opponent. Serena, usually used in Sleep Chain, using Hypnosis, everyone will fall asleep. Has a lot of things to do with sleeping. So, if the opponent is not asleep, it has to be trapped. For stationary target to happen, she has Fire Spin, which makes the opponent trapped. HP advantage, for the higher your HP is, the stronger your attacks become. And Good Nightmare. Good Nightmare 5 is built in. Good Nightmare 2 and another 2 is locked at 3 out of 5. Basically, makes your attack stronger if the opponent is asleep. And then, her sync move, there's a built-in, if the opponent is asleep, your sync move deals more damage. And then, if the opponent is asleep, 1 out of 5. Oh, so this is the sync pair I'm talking about. Another sync pair that has a multiplier at 1 out of 5. If the opponent is asleep, you deal more sync move damage. And then Smarty Pants, the lower the opponent's special attack stat is, the stronger your sync move damage. That is basically Serena. We have Silver, which is Charging Sun 6, Sacred Fire, Burn Synergy 3, and Solar Beam Charging Sun. Sync move multiplier, Inertia, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger the damage. Solar Flare 5, it has to be sunny, just like Charging Sun 6 and just Charging Sun 3. Silver relies a lot on sun, and his stats, if you actually come back here, Silver actually has the lowest stats out of everyone in every single field. But we actually got 20 out of 20 Silver for free, so his stats actually went up. But yeah, he has the lowest stats out of everyone here, which is interesting because normally it's not every single stat that is lower than everyone. And now we come to Signasu Thread, which Power Reserves 2, if you're low on HP, deals more damage. Haymaker, the stronger or your higher attack stat is, the stronger your sync move damage. And Solar Flare 5, it has to be sunny, and then your sync move will deal more damage. Now, how do you increase Signasuit Red's attack stat? Because normally you cannot increase his attack stat. What you have to do is basically use My Destiny after you Mega Evolve. After you Mega Evolve, My Destiny not only increases your special attack and another stat, I think it was speed, I forgot, but also increases your attack stat. So that is how you actually trigger Haymaker on Signasuit Red. Now, how good is Anniversary N compared to Signasuit Red or Leon or anyone else? Now, I'll miss Super Effective Plus next because that is a very good thing, but we probably will not be able to get that on N as a nice multiplier. N and Serena are the only tech sync pairs here. So if you have them at 6-star EX, they will not be able to attack every single opponent. They will only be able to attack one opponent, but that damage will be multiplied by 1.5. So it's 1.5 times more stronger. Stronger, not more stronger. Stronger. 1.5 damage or 1.5 times stronger. Meanwhile, for strikers, it will hit all opponents if they're 6-star EX'd. In terms of damage, in terms of sync move damage, I have no doubt that N will land the strongest sync move damage out of everyone because, number one, you're lowering the opponent's special defense every single time you attack. So every single time you attack, your attacks get more powerful and more powerful and more powerful because the opponent's special defense goes lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And then, if you actually use Noble Roar on the opponent, Devastation's pecking order will kick in, which will make your sync moves even more powerful. But even if you decide not to use Noble Roar, you just focus on Blue Flare, you should lower the opponent's special defense stat, which will kick in with the built-in multiplier of debuffs, unless the opponent has something that will prevent its special defense from going down. And I think Anniversary N will deal a lot of damage. And we move on to the last one, which is the most controversial one. So this is completely my opinion, guys. Feel free to listen or not. But this is, I'm gonna try to defend Anniversary Steven over here. So as you can see, these are Mega Evolve stats. Anniversary Steven has the highest speed, the lowest attack stat and special attack stat out of everyone. Lysander has the highest HP. But Lysander was nerfed, badly nerfed. Actually, all the flying types have somehow been nerfed. Nate also has low attack stats on board, all board. But Anniversary Steven actually has lower attack and special attack, because Nate does not exactly classify or considers special attack stat. So Anniversary Steven actually has a lower attack stat. So, how do I defend this guy? Well, number one, as I was saying earlier, good form, the higher your stats are, the stronger your attack moves become. And we have to see how good form is. You have to see if it acts like a power trip / stored power. If it's that good, then this is good. If it's not that good, we have to see how good it is. Hoenn Flag Bearer, even though the stats are low, will already increase his stats by a little bit. So his defenses, his attack and special attack stat already get a little bit more powered up because of Hoenn Flag Bearer. But, you know, it's a valid defense of you guys to say, oh, but the whole other Hoenn flag bearers, or but the other Master Fair sync pairs have much higher stats and they still have a Master passive skill. Yes, you're correct. You're correct. You're correct. I have nothing to say about that. But again, at 1 out of 5, just getting one copy of him, you already have access to a nice sync move multiplier in the form of clear sync up 5. Powers up your sync move by around 50% if the weather is not sunny, not rainy, not hailing, not sandstorming. And again, the chances of battles without weather effects are much higher than battles with weather effects. If you decide to get him at 3 out of 5, you get an additional multiplier, clear sync up 9, which basically is like a double damage sync move already. 90%, or probably higher than 90%. I don't think there's a point in discussing the other attack move multipliers of Steven. Just wanna focus on good form. Hoenn flag bearer, clear sync up 5 and clear sync up 9. Now, it's hard to say honestly right now how good / how bad he is. I used to say that, you know, probably I forgot who I used to say that is horrible. Then later on, when we got it, completely changed my opinion on that sync pair. I think one of them was Kiawe. I was like, oh no, why is Kiawe built like this? And there's Lana. I'm not changing my mind about Faulkner though. I still think he's kind of bad. He needs like another support to be good. But you know, yeah. Until we get to try him, I do not want to drop my final judgment of him. I'm also thinking of comparing Steven with Anniversary Steven once I get Anniversary Steven. So stay tuned for that. But again, until we get Anniversary Steven, it's gonna be hard to say how good he is. Because people have been complaining. Now, there's one thing that you guys can do. And that is to leave feedback to buff up Anniversary Steven. Last year, Anniversary, Signasuit Blue, very few people, probably not very few, but compared to Signasuit Red / Signasuit Leaf, a huge majority of players decided not to scout for Signasuit Blue. And DNA actually took action and made Signasuit Blue better. Gave him 2 passive skills / sync grid tiles that made him so good in the form of Team Triage Tank and Team Fist Bump. And since then, we have learned that DNA actually listens to feedback and makes sync pairs better. Another sync pair that actually became better was Signasuit Grimsty, but I don't know how many people requested for that. So maybe we guys can do the same. Probably leave feedback or don't summon for Anniversary. No, I will not tell you not to summon because I'm summoning for him. But probably a lot of you should leave feedback and tell DNA to make Anniversary Steven better. Probably increase his stats. I mean, after Mega Evolving, only the speed stat go up. Come on! If the attack stat and special attack stat go up together with the speed stat, yes, that will change stuff. That will stop people from complaining. So maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do that, guys. Or maybe just power him up a lot more so you guys can stop complaining. Just tell DNA, I'm not part of DNA. DNA, where is my partner program? Anyway, Blue. Blue, personally for me, until he Mega Evolves, he sucks. I think. You might disagree, but I think that he sucks without Hurricane. He has no sync move multiplier. Air Cutter, yes. Critical Strike 3, but you want to use Hurricane using Cygnus or using Blue and not Air Cutter. Harry 5 increases the damage when the opponent is flinching. Brutal Clarity, the higher your accuracy stat is, the stronger your attack damage. Lysander, on the other hand, is right now currently scoutable, and he's badly nerfed. Yes, he has the highest HP. Dark Power 5 powers up Dark Pulse, but we're talking about flying type attacks right now. He has Oblivion Wing. Oblivion Wing recovers HP, but you can only recover up to a max of half of your HP, which really sucks. Because other HP suction attacks, we're talking about Draining Kiss, we're talking about Horn Leech, we're talking about Leech Life, can recover up to full HP when you land very, very strong damage on the opponent. But Oblivion Wing is locked or capped at maximum half health. And that was what makes Lysander bad. His defenses are not good. He gets Healthy Buffer 5 if he's at full health, which is basically a toned down version of Anniversary Lily's Healthy Benefits. Healthy Buffer 5 only applies for attack moves and not sync moves. So, you know, if the opponent lands a strong attack on you, you go down to like 1/3 of your health or 1/4 of your health. You recover HP, you probably land maximum damage. Oblivion Wing, you can only recover up to a max of half health. Half of your max HP. So you recover probably, since 1/4, you become like 3/4 of your HP. The opponent lands another attack on you. It's still strong. It's not gonna be covered by Healthy Buffer anymore. You faint, and he dies. Which makes Lysander kind of not so good. It's sad. Lysander has a lot of potential. I used to be so excited about Lysander after using him a lot. Well, I still use him. But if you want to ask me who my go-to flying type attacker is, it's Leon. Leon with Hurricane, plus the burn synergy, plus the instant burn, plus super effective, plus Nex is a lot more powerful in terms of flying type damage than Lysander. There's Nate, a lot to do with Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace Brutal Clarity, higher accuracy stat. Aerial Ace Critical Strike 2. Aerial Ace Ramming Speed, the higher your speed stat is. Power Flux 2, the fuller your move gauge is. Power Flux 3 is built in. Inertia, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger your sync move damage. Nate is actually really good. People used to look down on Nate. Nate, personally for me, currently, is the go-to, should be your go-to 6-star EX flyer on of your choice. Personal opinion. If you have him at 3 out of 5. Personal opinion. He's like the easiest to set up out of everyone here. And he's pretty evasive. He has Fly, which is a quick move. You don't need a move gauge for that. There's an MP, but the MP recovers randomly, so you can use Fly like an indefinite number of times. And there's New Year Lance, who should have the highest flying type attack damage out of everyone here with Hyper Beam flying type. Thing is, he relies on Rain, and he cannot set up Rain on his own. Shower Power 5 makes your sync move stronger when it's raining. Raging Rain 2 makes your sync move makes your attack move stronger when it's raining. Hyper Beam Paralysis Synergy, you have to use Bounce on the enemy, hope that it paralyzes the opponent, so that Paralysis Synergy 1 will kick in using Hyper Beam. And there's Power Flux 5 built into his grid, or built into his kit, which makes your attack moves stronger when your move gauge is more full. And yeah, those are the 5 flying types in discussion. And again, my final analysis, my final verdict on Anniversary Steven will remain there until I get to try him out on my own, for my own. So guys, you might be wondering, out of the 3, who should you scout for? Anniversary Lily, Anniversary N, Anniversary Steven. Well, probably you should at least try to scout 5 times on each banner for the presents. But if you want to go all out on just one banner, I know a lot of you are going to scout for Anniversary Lily. I made a poll and you guys said Anniversary Lily. Anniversary Lily won in that banner. Anniversary Steven is like the lowest in that banner. And Anniversary N is somewhere in the middle. But honestly guys, I think Anniversary N is actually the best one out of everyone here. If you want to talk about, if you want to use the word broken in terms of a sync pair, I think Anniversary N is the sync pair. That is the good one out of everyone. Because, again, every time you attack everyone and their special defense goes down. So the more you attack the opponent, the stronger your attack becomes. And that way, the stronger your sync move becomes. Lily, on the other hand, is very good as well. Very nice with it as a pseudo tanker slash support. Easy to use. And arguably, I believe, and in my opinion, has the most amazing outfit out of the 3. Has the most amazing 6-star EX counterpart as well out of the 3, at least for me. And yeah, you have to rely on, I mean, the higher HP is, the stronger your attacks become because of healthy power up 1. And then you probably will be able to defend very well with Anniversary Lily because of healthy power up, because of healthy benefits, because of healthy healing. And Alola Flagbearer, you know, don't forget those master passive skills. They reduce the damage you take in from the opponent and increases your damage as well. So, just by using her trainer move, I think it's Shining Moonlight, Brain Sync 3 already kicks in, your special attack already maximized, your critical hit rate already maximized. So Anniversary Lily is very, very easy to use and very, very beginner friendly. Plus, we don't have a lot of ghost types. Again, the go-to ghost type for me is Morty. And probably you guys don't have Morty. So the second best thing to use if you don't have Morty is to scout for Anniversary Lily and use her as your ghost type of choice. Now, Anniversary N though, we already have a lot of fire types. And if you have been playing for a while, you probably have Signasuit Red or Leon. And if you don't have Signasuit Red, you actually have a chance of scouting for Signasuit Red, which I'm gonna talk about as well later. If you're gonna reroll, if you're gonna try and reroll your account, and if you don't know what rerolling is, basically start from scratch, restart your game, and use the free gems that the game gives you at the start to scout for one sync pair. Let me just remind you guys that for me, for 6-star EX, especially for new players, the ranking I give, I would prioritize strikers first, then support, then tech. Strikers attack every single opponent, so that helps you finish the battle quicker. So every time you use a sync move, every single opponent gets hit by that sync move. If the opponent, or if you are a 6-star EX striker. We don't have a support here. Anniversary Lily is a striker. Anniversary Steven is a striker. Supports, on the other hand, 6-star EX support basically increases your sync buff by 2 levels. So normally every time you use a sync move, your sync buff goes up +1. If your sync buff whenever your sync buff goes up, your attacks, the attacks that you deal the opponent, increase a little bit in damage. Now, if you have a 6-star EX support, it uses sync move, your sync buff goes up 2 levels. That means your attacks get powered up much quicker than you don't have to wait for like 18 turns, because 9 moves, 9 I think your sync move countdown is 9. You have to wait like 18 attacks before you use your second sync move. So actually, that support double sync buff thing is actually very precious. So I'm ranking 6-star EX striker first priority, especially for new players. Second priority is support because of the double sync buff. And third and last one is the tech. Because tech, the only benefit of using a 6-star EX tech sync move is that your sync move gets powered up times 1.5. So basically, your sync move gets powered up a lot. But it only hits one opponent. And after you defeat that opponent, the other opponents will start attacking you. So, especially in Champion Stadium, that happens. So you have to keep that in mind. So that's why I'm recommending, especially new players, to go for strikers first. So N is a tech. And for new players, especially if you're re-rolling, N is actually good. But if you're not familiar with the mechanics of the game yet, I would recommend you to scout for Anniversary Lily instead of N. Personal opinion. But out of these three, I think N is the best one. Has the best kit, has the best everything. And then there's Anniversary Steven, which a lot of you have been complaining. Again, as I said, I think DNA has given us these sync pairs because of the fan base. Lily is pretty popular. N is pretty popular. Steven is pretty popular. In fact, Lily and Steven are the only 2 sync pairs in the game with 3 different outfits. There's one more sync pair that has 3 different Pokemon but only 2 outfits, and that is Erica. But these are the only 2 sync pairs that have 3 different outfits. And I think, yeah, that's basically the reason. It's less of the kit of the 3, but more of the fan base. How fans like these characters. So if you want Summer or Anniversary Steven to get better, probably leave feedback for DNA to make him better. But in the meantime, I'll hold my judgment. Good form, I guess, again, as I was saying, is interesting. I want to see how that works before I leave my final verdict on him. And then there's Clear Sync of 5, which already is available at 1 out of 5, which is good, especially for players who just need 1 copy of that sync pair. Because as you can see, for the other 2, their sync move multipliers are actually locked. You have to have at least 2 copies for Anniversary Lily and 3 copies for N to get their additional, or to get N's additional sync move multipliers and to get that Brain Sync 3 of Anniversary Lily. So that concludes my analysis of these 3. Let me know who you are summoning for the 3, and if you're summoning for Anniversary Lily later, then best of luck to you. Now, if you've been watching this from the start, give yourself a big thumbs up right now. And again, don't forget to click on that subscribe button because we have a little bit more to go before we end this video. Thank you for watching the entire thing. If you've been watching the entire thing, guys. Thank you so much. Now, 5-star select Pokefair Scout times 11. Should you do it? Should you do it? These sync pairs or this banner uses paid gems. 3,000 paid gems. So if you're a free-to-play player, it's a big no-no. You cannot go for this banner because this uses paid gems. So probably skip this part. You don't need to listen to this if you don't want to pay for gems. But if you're willing to pay for gems, is this worth it? Well, Alder, arguably, no questions asked, hands down, best bug-type striker in the game. Best bug-type striker, no questions asked. Signasuit Leaf, AoE Poison. AoE badly Poison. If you want to use Poison Stall, Signasuit Leaf, instant, easy, Poison. And then, every time she attacks, your opponent's defense or special defense or both get lowered down when you attack the opponent. Raihan, if you were to ask me, out of these 6, Raihan might actually be the worst currently because his sync move multiplier relies on Sandstorm. And currently, there is no way for him to trigger Sandstorm on his own. But Dynamax is coming, and I believe that his Duraludon will get a Dynamax or a G-Max form, which will allow him to trigger Sandstorm whenever he uses, or when he uses his Dynamax move. So, Raihan might get a huge power-up really soon. So, yeah. Signasuit Red, as I was saying earlier, you have a chance of scouting for Signasuit Red. By the way, new players, if you are re-rolling for sync pairs, you can actually get 72 hours scouting for Signasuit Red, Signasuit Blue, and Signasuit Leaf. But in this banner, you can actually scout for these 6 sync pairs. Signasuit Red doesn't exactly have to rely on Sun, but he gets stronger when it's sunny. And the thing about Signasuit Red is that he's a powerful he's a very powerful fire type. He can handle every single type of opponent. Actually, every single sync pair here can handle every single type of opponent. Alder probably, if the opponent has Dauntless, it will be harder for Alder to do something. Champion Iris, if the opponent cannot be debuffed. By the way, Champion Iris relies on debuffs. Every time she attacks, Breaking Swipe lowers the opponent's attack stat by 2 levels. A Snarl lowers the opponent's special attack. Every single opponent, by the way. Special attack by 2 levels. So very, very good sync pair as well. And then her sync move, if the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger she is. Similar to N. And then there's Signasuit Cynthia, who has one of the best trainer moves in the game. Very, very high chance. I think it's a 50% chance of MP refresh on her trainer move, which will increase your critical hit rate as well as sync move countdown. You can land sync moves very quickly with Signasuit Cynthia. Her attack clanging skills hit everyone with a dragon type move, very strong, but lower your defenses by 1. But you can actually have unbending on her and mitigate this negative thing. Now, this banner uses paid gems. You scout 11 sync pairs. I think in the 11 sync pairs that you can scout, these 6 are already included. I think. I might be wrong. But you get to scout another 12th sync pair, another one, after your random 11 scout, and choose either of the 6. And personally, I think if you don't have any of these sync pairs and are willing to pay for 3,000 gems or more, depending on how many gems this banner asks you, I think it's gonna be 3,000. I think it's worth it. Out of everyone, I would highly recommend Alder, Signa-Suit Leaf, and Champion Iris. Those are my highest priorities for you guys. Signa-Suit Red, please don't hate me for saying this, but there are so many other fire types in the game. And I think Signa-Suit Red was actually the 6-month anniversary sync pair. And that time, Signa-Suit Red was amazing, great, game-breaking. But right now, Signa-Suit Red is like outclassed, outshined by so many other sync pairs that I don't think he's that great anymore. He's still good, very good, but he's not that great anymore. And then there's Raihan, who's not exactly great at the moment, but will most likely get better in the coming months because of the Dynamax thing. So if you're willing to spend some paid gems, I think this banner is worth it. Like what I said, my discussion for all of them, and deciding which one to choose is completely up to you. Champion Iris saves me a lot from harder battles because she can debuff the opponent both physical and special attacks. Signa-Suit Cynthia, again, very quick sync moves. And every time she uses a sync move, High Five 1 rather, increases all her stats, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed by 1 stat up. And then, again, Signa-Suit Leaf. Basically, poison everyone. Lower everyone's defense and special defense or both stats. Alder, super strong bug type. Super struggle bug, super duper effective 9. Devastation, I think. And a lot more for Alder. No questions asked. Raihan, immediately at the start of the battle, plus 4 attack and special attack stat, I think. I think that's the gimmick of Raihan. You get to... Your stats are immediately high at this very start of the battle. And then by using his trainer move, you get a free move next, as well as some other good things going. I think critical hit rate increase as well. Should you do it? If you're willing, you probably should. But maybe save your gems and use it on the anniversary sync pairs instead. And guys, last one before I end this. Which are these seasonal sync pairs. Now, they will come in 2 batches. The first batch is Holiday Rosa, Holiday Skyla, Palentine Serena, New Year Lily, Fall Zarola, and Summer Steven. And the second batch, New Year Lance, Fall Hilbert, Summer Lyra, Palentine's Dawn, Holiday Erica, and Holiday Siebel over here. You know what? I thought of how to do this fair and square and as quickly as possible. And I think this is how I will do it. I will mark each one. I will discuss very briefly what each sync pair does. And I will mark each one with a yes or no. Green for yes, red for no. Again, this is my personal opinion. According to all the sync pairs we have in the game, I have everyone except one BP sync pair. That's BP Morty. But I have everyone, and I have tried everyone. And I think, personally, I can judge this quite fairly. But, again, this is my opinion. Feel free to disagree if you think I don't make sense. Holiday Erica. Holiday Erica. Holiday Erica X attack all. All the presents. All the presents, as far as I have used her, has a very high chance of giving me an MP refresh. All the presents increases or speeds up the move gauge acceleration increases one random stat by 2. I think it increases the speed stat. I'm not sure. And if you have her sync grid something tile active, she can raise another stat by 2 levels. So basically, every time you use all the presents, 3 stats get raised up, unless 2 stats get raised up and that second stat increases by 4 instead of by 2. And then she also gets Cold Front if you decided to give it to her. Causes a hailstorm at the start of the battle if you decide to give it on her. And her defenses, I think, go up when it's hailing if you decide to give that tile to her. She also gets Drill Peck and Aerial Ace, I think. And I don't use her exactly for attacking. I use her for buffing sync pairs. And for sync pairs that rely a lot on buffs, I'm talking about Power Trip, I'm talking about Stored Power, and probably I'll be talking about Good Form soon. This is a big yes for me. A big yes. Can boost up every single, like, random stat all the way, except critical hit rate. Holiday Skyla. Holiday Skyla, I strongly remember Waj using Holiday Skyla to sync nuke the opponent. And yes, Holiday Skyla actually lands a lot of damage. Holiday Skyla has Super Interference, which increases the chance of making the opponent flinch, or frozen, or burned, or paralyzed because she has Tri-Attack. And Tri-Attack can either freeze, or burn, or paralyze the opponent. Air Slash can make the opponent flinch. And then it relies on those interferences, it relies on those status conditions. And if you're able to land those status conditions, depending on what sync move tiles you, or rather sync grid tiles you get, they will get powered up. But with lands, or rather with anniversary lands coming, and with other flying types, and plus she's a tech sync pair, I think that you can pass on her. I think you can pass on her. But honestly, she's very strong. She's very strong. But I think you can pass. It's a no for me. Palantine Serena. One move can paralyze everyone immediately. Another move can raise everyone's speed stat. And then she has Cotton's 4, which will lower everyone's speed stat. Plus, the lower your speeds, the opponent's speed stat is, and the higher your speed stat is, the stronger you become. She has Moonblast as an attack move, which deals a lot of damage. She's a sync nuker. If you have Sycamore, which you probably should have Sycamore, she might be replaceable, but the way she gets to paralyze everyone and lower everyone's speed stat, I think just because of those is a yes for me. I use her a lot to use together with N, the normal N, which relies on Static Shock. Static Shock, basically, the opponent has to be paralyzed for the sync move to get a multiplier. Cygnus Cynthia also has Static Shock, relies on the opponent getting paralyzed to use that sync move with more power on her. And the way I do that is actually to bring Palantine Serena along, use Stun Spore, and Stun Spore will immediately paralyze everyone. So I think just by that, I can recommend Palantine Serena. And then New Year Lily, arguably the best out of everyone here. Every single one here. New Year Lily, I believe, is the best. She has Alola lang sign, prevents status conditions, I think accelerates the move gauge as well, and increases everyone's evasiveness stat. If you want to use Falkner, New Year Lily is very good with her, increases evasiveness. She gets Leech Life, which recovers your health when you land a damage on the opponent. And unlike Lysander, you can actually land very strong Leech Life damage on her and immediately recover her to full health. She also gets Dire Hit All Plus, which raises everyone's critical hit rate +2 immediately. And the best thing is that after she uses Sync move, everyone gets a regen effect, which is good. I have no bad things to say about New Year Lily. I still use her so much to this date in any battle. It's a big, big, big yes for me. Follow Zarola. Very gimmicky sync pair. Relies on confusion. If you land a critical hit on the opponent, the opponent gets confused. If you hit an opponent that's confused, you lower their defenses. She has 2 quick moves, Shadow Sneak and Phantom Force, I think, which does not need move gauge, but will run out after you run out of MP, and there's no MP refresh if you don't get MP refresh. You get a disguised Mimikyu form at the start, which if you get hit for the first time by a normal attack and not a sync move, you receive 0 damage. But after that, you start to receive damage, and her defenses are not that great as far as I've used her. And because I think that she relies too much on gimmicks, I'm giving her a no. I like Mimikyu though. I like her outfit. She is like one of the best seasonal outfits. But I'm gonna have to say no to this. Sadly. I'm sorry. Summer Steven. Summer Steven, after you use a sync move on Summer Steven, it will start hailing. His moves, Icicle Spear, if you have it on your sync grid, can make the opponent frozen. Icicle Crash has a chance of making the opponent flinch. And if you have it on your sync grid as well, if the opponent is flinching or frozen, your sync move gets powered up. Again, after you use a sync move, it will start to hail. If it is hailing, your attacks get stronger. And yes, there's Getsis. There's Getsis. Getsis is available right now. But the way that you can actually set up hail just by using a sync move makes Summer Steven quite important in my eyes. And I'm giving him a yes. Because hail upon sync move, chance of freezing the opponent, and by the way, Icicle Spear is a multi-attack, so you can attack the opponent like up to 5 times. There's no quarter on his grid. If you get no quarter, you get to hit the opponent like 5 times all the time. New Year Lance, arguably strongest attacker, right? Not sync move, but strongest attacker currently for flying types. Arguably, I think. Gets powered up when there's rain. Yes, there is Lysander right now, but I'd rather get New Year Lance than Lysander. And I don't know if I want to get Lance or Anniversary Steven, but still one of the strongest flying type strikers. I think it's only Nate and New Year Lance fighting against who's the stronger flying type currently. So I'm giving him a yes. Fall Hilbert. I highly recommend this dark type striker. He's currently the only 6-star EX dark type striker in the game. The only 6-star EX dark type striker in the game. The game gave us a couple of dark types recently, very strong. Masquerade also gave us Sydney. Unfortunately, they're tech types. And as I said earlier, I have my reservations on tech types versus strikers, especially in their 6-star EX forms. So if you want to hit everyone with a sync move, Fall Hilbert is your sync pair of choice. Plus he gets Haymaker. He gets insult to injury. The lower the opponent's defense stat is, the stronger your attack is. Crunch. He gets Crunch. He gets what is the recall damage move? He gets that. Personally, I am using Hilbert for Crunch, for a Crunch build. It's much stronger and much more reliable. And yeah. Best Dark type 6-star EX striker to date. Since he's out right now, I'm not sure if his banner is going to have a rerun on October, because he's supposed to come out on October for a rerun. Now, since these two are out here, I don't know. I don't know, guys. But right now, I'm giving him a big yes. Summer Lyra. Summer Lyra. Fairy type, striker. I think she has Play Rough and this Dazzling Gleam. If she uses a sync move on the opponent will fall asleep. If you have her 6-star EX, every single opponent will fall asleep. Very good. Very good. But there's one huge thing about her. And I don't understand why the game decided to do this. But there's a thing about her trainer move solo act that relies on her being asleep to recover. And I don't get the point of that, because she cannot fall asleep on her own. There is no move for us to make her fall asleep on her own. We don't have a move called rest in the game. And there are not a lot of opponents who use hypnosis on you. So that those sync grid tiles are gone for good. Now we have a lot of fairy types. We have Sycamore. As I was saying earlier, we have Sycamore right now. Sycamore is gonna be until the end of next month. If you were to get a fairy type, just get Sycamore instead. Probably some of you will hate me for saying this, but yes to Summer, or yes to Palentine's Dawn or Palentine's Serena because of the paralysis. For me, that's the only thing. Because of the AoE paralysis, rather than the AoE sleep, I'd rather get the normal Serena instead for that AoE sleep. If you want a fairy type striker, probably Diantha will come back soon, because she's due for a rerun very soon. And speaking of fairy types, we have another one. The next one, Palentine's Dawn. Palentine's Dawn has Charm. Lowers everyone, well, rather lowers the opponent's attack stat by 2 levels. She has a passive skill that can make your debuff skills hit everyone instead of just your main target. And she also has Fake Tears, which lowers the opponent's special defense by 2 levels. Now, she also works with debuffs, so I think the more the opponent is debuffed, the stronger your sync move is. I think it's like that. Plus, her trainer move raises an ally's attack stat by 2 levels, special attack by 2 levels, and gives them a regen effect. Did I miss anything? And then she has an attack that hits everyone. I think it's Dazzling Gleam. And the lower the opponent's stats are, I think the stronger Dazzling Gleam becomes. And just by the debuffing skills she has, as well as the buffing skills that she also has, even though she's a fairy type, I'm giving her a yes. I'm giving her a yes. Next, Holiday Erica. I used to say a lot of good things about this thing. She has X regen all, which gives everyone a regen effect. She has Lay Up, which is like a potion for everyone. Also, recovers everyone's lowered stats to normal, to 0. So if your stat is like -6, she can bring it back to 0 with the help of Lay Up. She also gets Vine Whip, a 1 move gauge attack, and I think a Draining Kiss, a Fairy type 2 move gauge attack. And don't expect her to deal a lot of damage. Yes, she has a couple of multipliers HP advantage, but Lay Up, unless it does an MP refresh, you're down to just using it once and then just rely on her low attack power to hit the opponent. Now, I've been debating too much about this. I wanted to give her a yes, but I've been thinking about it. I have to set some sort of a tiebreaker for the both of these, either the top or the bottom. And I think just because New Year Lily is there with the free regen effect after you use a sync move, I have to give this a no. But I am very close to giving Holiday Erica a yes. Now again, this is my opinion. Feel free to disagree. But I'm hesitating between these two sync pairs. And guys, we have come to the last one. You probably know what I will say since I said tiebreaker, which is Holiday Siebel. Now, Holiday Siebel, I don't know why, is the only seasonal right now without a 6-star EX form. Holiday Siebel is actually not too bad, as people say. His Rising Tide, which basically, the higher your stats are, the stronger your sync move becomes. Sync move damage becomes. He has Octazooka, which lowers the opponent's accuracy stat. And then there's, okay, what's that? What's that water type move that can burn the opponent? I'm too sleepy to think right now. But he has that move which can burn the opponent. He has that water type move which can burn the opponent. And if the opponent is burned, you get to deal more damage. But we have so many water types right now. We have so many water types. Archie, May, just having them both. Signasuit Blue. We don't need another water type. That's a no. That's a no. So, which banner to scout? Up or down? Up is coming on September 3. Down is coming on September 10. So, this is hard to say. The only one that I would extremely highly recommend up there is New Year Lily. And the only one that I would very strongly recommend down there is Fall Hilbert. And the game or DNA was smart enough to split the two into two banners. Now, I think these use normal gems. These do not use paid gems. But this is a super spotlight seasonal scout. And the last time we got a super spotlight, the word super spotlight, the rates were only 0.5% for each one. There are 6 of them. There was 4 last time. It could, the rates could actually be worse here. It's either 0.5 or 0.25 or 0.33. I doubt it's gonna be 1%. The chances of getting the unit of your choice is probably just max at 0.5%. Do you want to take that risk? You can go for scout points. That's 36,000 gems if you're willing to spend on this banner. And I think New Year Lily is coming back on January or December this year, or next year, January. I'm not sure if Fall Hilbert and Fall Zarola will come back next month. If you really want, you can spend on this banner. If you really want. But those are my thoughts on all 12 of them. And I think, personally, I think the first banner that's coming on September 3 is a lot more worth it than the bottom banner, which has Fall Hilbert, but Fall Hilbert might return next month. So those are my thoughts. If you're willing to spend on them, then go ahead. But there are 3 Master Fairs coming starting later. And if I were you, I'll spend on those Master Fairs instead. And you get presents as well. But again, this is just me. This is just me giving you advice and giving you my analysis for these sync pairs. Feel free to listen. Feel free to not listen. Again, as I wanted to say in every one of my videos, favorites is better than going for the meta. Go for your favorites instead of going for the meta, because in the end, it's your game, and after playing for a while in this game, your sync pairs, your skill should be able to carry you throughout any stage. Unless you're like me, who wants to do some crazy stuff, do like 10 multi-pulls and lose with 3-star sync pairs. Anyway, yeah, that's it. We have reached the end of our presentation. Thank you if you have watched the entire thing. I can't believe how long I've been talking. Make sure you give this a huge thumbs up right now. Let me know your thoughts and who you are going to scout for. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't, because we're on our way to 10,000 subs. I hope you join me in this journey together and we can celebrate together. I have lots of things to give away at 10,000 subs. So let's get to 10,000 subs quickly. And yeah, thank you to all my members up there. If you appreciate my efforts and want to support me financially, you can click on the join button if you see it down there, or send me a super chat if you see it there on the right side. And yeah, you can become a member of my channel for as low as $1 a month. And you get to have a nice Pokeball badge beside your name, as well as use some Spark icons, Scorbunny icons, Trico icons, and more to come. But with that said, thank you. I need to sleep. It's 9:30. I have to export this video. I'm not sure how long it will take. This is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. Your artist team's called Grunt. Thank you for watching, everyone. Share this again, and I'll see you in the next video. Or my scouts later, if you're watching on August 28th. Rawr!